Studio Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Binupurarachi.
And I am Natalia Veeravardhana. First, let's take a look at the headlines.
The President issues a gazette notification easing restrictions on importation of vehicles. An accident in Habarana Trincomalee Road kills 2 persons and injures 35 others. The President reiterates not to breach the confidence placed by the people to unite, disregarding all divisions. A 4-day special program to end congestion caused due to delays in clearing containers. Another deadly plane crash in the United States.
Another top story for tonight, President Kumara Dissanayake says the confidence placed by the people at the last general election pertaining to the fact that unity in place of division will not be breached by any means.
The President has made these remarks at a public meeting held in Chavakacheri under the theme Rich Country, Beautiful Life yesterday. On this occasion, the President was welcomed magnanimously according to the traditional cultural creeds of the Tamil community. Large numbers of Chavakacheri residents and people's representatives have attended the event organized by the National People's Paw. The President further said that forthcoming budget will allocate funds for the development of the Jaffna Library and also for the commencement of the 3 industrial zones in the north. President Kumara Dissanayake said that they are remodeling politics which stands with the people. He has pledged to hand over the Jaffna presidential mansion to any good entrepreneur proposed by the people. The President's house that is not wanted by the people is not wanted by the President as well. The task of wasting the public funds by politicians must come to an end at least by now. The destiny of the previous politicians lied on racism. However, the present government has taken a strong verdict to stop this unwanted practice. Communalism in any form will be defeated by the present regime. The children of the present generation will not be succumb to the cultures of racism, and even citizens must have the right to deal with the government in their mother tongue. Therefore, the government will take maximum efforts to dispel the inequalities caused as a result of language barriers. The people need a country where clashes will not occur. Children must unite to bring the country to a better position. A politics must be carried forward without clashes. This is the only path towards development. Some of these parties were represented by their own relatives, but the northern people had chosen a different path. They abandoned all these affiliations and voted for the National People's Paw. The placing of confidence on NPP is a historic decision, and they believe that the decision had turned the country into a new direction. The northern people had taken a brave decision to change the course of the country. They had also expressed their apprehension to racism. All of Sri Lankans must get together to build a new country. President Kumara Dissanayake has also presided over a public meeting in the Galgavu town today. The President said that Sri Lanka has stopped importing vehicles several years ago. However, with effect from today, permission has been granted after many years to recommence importing of vehicles for personal use. However, the permission will have to be extended with great caution. This is mainly because Sri Lanka at present does not have a significant dollar reserve. Vehicles were not imported to the country for 5 years. The country must realize what would happen if all vehicles were imported at once. Such a situation would deplete the foreign financial reserves. Therefore, everybody will not be given the opportunity to import vehicles in February. The dollar demand would increase in February. However, vehicles will have to be imported. Letters of credit would be opened carefully. Taxes on some of the vehicles have been increased by a certain extent. This would create an increase in the prices of vehicles, and the vehicles now in the country were the vehicles imported when the dollar value was at 185 rupees. Now the dollar value has shot up to 300 rupees. That means the value of a vehicle would go up by 40%. This is mainly due to the strengthening of the dollar. Additional taxes have also been imposed. If there is a massive demand for imported vehicles, all of a sudden such a rush would recreate a crisis. Initially, there would be a price increase, but it would subside later on. During recent presidential election, there were yellow color stages, there were green color stages with numerous party colors. But recently, there were talks about the opposition joining hands. They were trying to set up some sort of a trap. However, an assurance has been given to the people that such devious attempts would not enable to fall the regime. The present government was created through the country and the unity of the people. The people of the Galgamuwa who did not vote for the NPP at the last general election have today placed their confidence on the government of the National People's Party.
President Anura Kumara Dissanayake issued a fresh Gazette notification effective from today, easing restrictions on vehicles. The new Gazette notification announces tax ratios on vehicles, including modified ones. Even the cars will now be covered under this category. The government has officially lifted the temporary suspension on vehicle imports, which had been in effect since early 2020 through Gazette Extraordinary Notification number 2421/44, dated on the 31st January 2025. The new regulations permit the importation of various types of vehicles, including cars and vans for personal use, buses for public passenger transport, goods transport vehicles, special purpose vehicles and trishaws, bicycles and other non-motorized vehicles. Some key conditions have been imposed on vehicle importation. They have been imposed pertaining to importation of vehicles in way of encouraging revival of normal economic activities and safeguarding the economic stability of the country, while taking into account protecting foreign exchange reserves, discouraging importation of an excessive number of vehicles, and keeping unnecessary stocks of motor vehicles and increasing fiscal revenue. Required number of vehicles can be imported by the importers registered with the Department of Motor Traffic and state institutions, subject to the regulations imposed by the said Gazette notification. Any importer other than the importer referred is permitted to import only one vehicle within a period of 12 months. Any imported motor vehicles shall be registered with the Department of Motor Traffic in the name of the buyer when purchasing a motor vehicle from a registered importer, or in the name of importer within 90 days from the date of Bill of Entry Customs Declaration. The importer of buyers shall submit an affidavit, including the taxpayer identification number issued by the Department of Inland Revenue, along with other required documents to the Commissioner General of Department of Motor Traffic for the registration of motor vehicles. Further, importers other than the referred importers shall mention in the said affidavit that they have not imported any other vehicle during a period of 12 months from the date of the customs declaration after importing the first vehicle. If it is failed to register any imported motor vehicle within 90 days by an importer, such importer shall be liable to pay a monthly late fee of 3% of the cost insurance freight value up to maximum cap of 45% of CIF value at the time of registration of motor vehicles at the Department of Motor Traffic. No waiver pertaining to the payment of monthly late fees shall be granted under any circumstances. When determining the age of the motor vehicle, the period between the date of manufacture and date of the bill of lading or airway bill of that motor vehicle shall be calculated. It shall not be allowed for importation and customs release of any motor vehicle using the motor vehicle import permits which have been issued with concessionary rates of duties. If any motor vehicle is imported in violation of any prevailing rules and regulations, such motor vehicles shall be re-exported by the respective importer within 90 days from the date of the bill of entry.
And meanwhile, a head-on collision of a private bus and a van has resulted in the deaths of 2 persons and sustaining of 35 injuries of others, harbored at Trincomalee Road this morning. The victims of the tragedy were the driver of the van and a female passenger in the bus. The deceased were 32-year-old van driver of Kenya and 66-year-old woman of Hikadua. The 35 injured persons were admitted to the Hamburuna and Tambola hospitals. The Hamburuna police station is conducting investigations into the accident.
The Sri Lanka Customs has commenced a 4-day special program to end congestion caused due to delays in clearing containers. Meanwhile, officials, including Chairman of Ports Authority, have inspected the temporary yard being built to park containers in Blue Mandal today. The official said measures will be taken to eliminate the rush within the next few days. Measures are underway to complete expeditiously the clearance of containers. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority, Admiral Sirimewan Sarachandra Ranasinghe, said that measures have been taken to address the current issue of blocked containers. He expressed hope that the current rush will be over within several days. However, until then, the Ports Authority had to work with extra effort to address the issue. The chairman said that all relevant units in the Ports Authority are working 24 hours to address the issue. After solving the current problem, the export and import activities will be boomed, the chairman said. President of the Container Truck Association, Sanat Manjula, said that steps have been taken to expedite the process of examining containers at the port premises. He said custom officials are busy in conducting their official activities. The president of the Container Truck Association said that the current rush should be over in the coming days.
And meanwhile, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jathiso says that in order to maintain a continuous supply of Jeevani in the market, it is necessary to make more efficient the production capacity by installing new machinery. He has made these remarks during an inspection tour at the Ratmalana Storage Complex and the production unit of the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation. The minister, without prior notice, was engaged in the inspection. Of the objective of the tour was to inquire into the reports of weaknesses encountered island-wide in the Jeevani production distribution process. It was revealed on this occasion that there is only one machine available for the manufacturing of Jeevani products of two types. Even that machine is 12 years old. The staff has explained to the minister that under such circumstances, it is impossible to fulfill the supplies according to the demand. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jathiso, upon discussion with the chairman of the SPC, has instructed to purchase the necessary machines. He has also said that speedy measures will be taken to fulfill the existing shortages in the employees. And also, Minister Samantha Widyarathna says that 5,400 houses will be constructed for the people in the upcountry before the end of this year. He has given the assurance at a meeting held at the Thondaban Vocational Training Centre in Hatton yesterday. New students were enrolled for the Hatton Thondaban Vocational Training Centre through participation of Minister Samantha Widyarathna. The institute is managed by the Ministry of Plantation and Community Infrastructure Facilities. 250 new students were admitted for many courses including motor mechanics, nursing assistant, electric technician and preschool teaching training. The Vocational Training Centre is open for unemployed youth in the plantation sector who have received basic education and also for those interested in following self-employment courses. Minister Samantha Widyarathna said that they are compelled to terminate the slow-phased Indian Housing Credit Scheme which has been implemented in the recent past. 4,700 more houses are to be built this year. Last year, 1,300 houses were earmarked for the construction. However, none of these houses were built. In some locations of housing construction, only the foundation was laid. Just 600 housing construction projects were carried out in the appropriate manner, but the work was not completed. And also, you may have come across the name College House of the University of Colombo.
It was also known by the Queen's Cottage in Colombo. The National Television Inquiry of today focuses on this exquisite college institution, which is also one of the ancient buildings in the city. Although the college looks like an old Valawa, it was actually the educational administrative building of the university for over a century. The history of the institution dates back to the year 1911. It was owned by the then one of the major philanthropists and businessmen of Colombo, Charles Henry de Zoysa. Later on, it was bequeathed to his fourth son, Thomas Henry Arthur, and the building came up between the period 1911 and 1912. After Thomas married Regina Pereira Abevardhana, the house was known as Regina Valawa. Upon the demise of Regina, the building was handed over to the government in the year 1920. The name University College came into being in 1921. The then Vice-Chancellor of the Colombo University, Sir Edward Denham, was reported to have recommended to rename the place as College House. Since then, this unique education institution has become breeding grounds of intellectualism among the learned and distinguished citizens of the country.
program to enlighten indigenous communities on online registration of voting was conducted in Dabana under leadership of the head of the community, Uruvarige Vaniletto. The event has taken place in parallel to the Voters' Day of Sri Lanka, which falls in today. Another objective of the program is to educate the general public on the right to protect voting rights and the act of voting. A demonstration has been conducted on the registration process using the latest technological apps. School children, residents and the indigenous community were enlightened on this registration using mobile phones and QR codes. Director General of the Elections Commission, Samantri Ratnayaka, and other officials were also present at this event conducted at the Jabana Junior School.
And now on more local stories, preliminary round discussions on the formulation of a national policy on early childhood development got underway yesterday. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya has presided over the event at the Education Ministry in Isurupaya. The aim of the program is to implement national education policy through collaborating of all institutions dealing with the issue of early childhood development in numerous forms. The Prime Minister said on this occasion that measures are underway to receive cabinet approval in this regard. A proposal has been put forward to set up an official committee under the leadership of Additional Secretary in charge of Primary Education Development, Sujatha Kulendra Kumar. Attention has also been focused to introduce a special policy framework for the security of children in preschools.
And meanwhile, the attention of the Ministry of Transport has been focused on the expeditious installing of road signboards equipped with the latest technology in major towns. These facilities will be added with the latest machinery, which would enable to procure data pertaining to the air quality on relevant road. Minister in charge Bimal Ratnayaka has made these observations while engaging in an inspection tour at the headquarters of the Department of Motor Traffic in Narahempita recently. The Minister on this occasion has also made a special emphasis on the task of the vehicle emission test round run. Upon inspection of the registration number plates divisions of the department, it has been found out that piles of number plates stacked up due to many service recipients in the Colombo district failing to take back their registration plates. Talks were also centered on sending an SMS message to the service recipient on the readiness to hand over the processed number plate. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka has also made inquiries from the service recipients as well regarding the quality of service being provided by the Department of Motor Traffic. The authorities have also discussed on methods to be deployed to further save the time of service recipients.
LNBTI recently hosted the Tech Talk Open Day, an informative and engaging event aimed at connecting Sri Lankan students with career opportunities in Japan's thriving IT industry. The event provided potential students and their parents with valuable insights into Japan's dynamic IT sector, while also guiding them on how to effectively plan their careers in this globally competitive field. The event underscored LNBTI's commitment to preparing students for global competence and success in cross-cultural professional environments. The Open Day saw participation from prospective students and their parents, creating a platform for meaningful engagement and knowledge sharing. The event featured a distinguished lineup of speakers who brought extensive expertise and unique perspectives. Professor Yurai Sadoi from Major University and a visiting professor at LNBTI provided an in-depth analysis of Japan's digital transformation and entrepreneurial landscape. Taranga Kumara, a senior IT consultant in Japan, shared practical insights on navigating the Japanese IT industry as a foreign professional. Professor Ananda Kumara, Vice Chancellor of LNBTI, drew on his 40-year career in Japanese academia and industry to offer invaluable guidance on achieving global competence and building successful cross-cultural careers.
And meanwhile, the Ceylon College of Physicians, which was established in 1967 in Sri Lanka, is the oldest and premier professional organization for specialists in medicine and its finer specialities. The formal ceremony, induction ceremony of Vidya Jyoti Professor Prasad Katulanda as its 49th president was held recently at the Shangri-La Hotel in Colombo. The induction ceremony was graced over by 650 invitees who were distinguished academics, doctors, researchers, Ministry of Health officials and other well-wishers. Under the leadership of Professor Katulanda, the CCP is committed to shaping the physician for the future with a range of academic activities planned, culminating in the annual academic sessions to be held from the 10th to 13th September at the Cinnamon Life Hotel in Colombo. The main focus for 2025 by the Ceylon College of Physicians is to prepare the younger generation of physicians to serve the country, being empowered with the latest technology and knowledge, especially in an environment of limited resources, and to help in the academic growth and the development of the nation. A large amount of local and foreign delegates are expected to attend this event.
Program.
Over the last 7 decades, Sri Lanka as a country and a nation has achieved remarkable milestones in health compared to the comparable countries in the region and rest of the world. We have steadily increased our life expectancy at birth. And you can see our mortality rates have come down. This includes the maternal mortality, mortality of the women, mortality of the infants, mortality of the neonates, and all indices in mortality. In addition, we have been very successful in immunizing almost all our population for vaccine preventable diseases. Along with this initiative and other measures, we have been very successful in eradicating deadly diseases like polio, neonatal tetanus, and other infections like malaria, and we have largely curtailed infections like leprosy, filariasis, and many more. However, ladies and gentlemen, we still have persistent health challenges. As you would see, rabies, due to dog bites mainly, causes a significant number of deaths every year. Leptospirosis, which affects mostly people who work in paddy fields or farmers, causes deaths and periodically causes epidemics like the recent epidemic in the Jaffna region, causing increased number of hospital admissions and death. All of you are aware that dengue from time to time increases, and this leads to many hospital admissions as well as deaths. All these, although might not be very big in numbers, have lot of influence even on our economy, because these conditions even can hamper tourism.
The International Cancer Day falls on the 4th of February. A program to enlighten the general public on the deadly disease was held at the Cancer House in Maharagama yesterday. The Cancer House has been extending services to the cancer victims since the year 1948. This institution has been established by a Parliament Act of 1997. The house engages in the continuous provision of medical facilities recommended by the physicians at the Apeksha Hospital in Maharagama, and also in the securing of residential treatment facilities. The Cancer House is committed to provide medical facilities to patients coming from outstation, and also to look after throughout the lifetime of patients who are being deprived of guardians. The institution is also comprised of all cancer testing and treatment. The Sri Lanka Cancer Society and philanthropists provide financial facilities for the Cancer House, which is equipped with 34 beds. It also extends food, medicine and living expenses for the family members of cancer patients as well.
And now let's move on to some few more local news items in brief. 60 persons, including students of Ulupane Mahavidyalaya, Gampala, and their parents, were admitted to Ulupane Hospital after being subjected to a severe wasp attack. 10 victims in serious condition were transferred to the Navalapati District Hospital. The Balavaya police has uncovered a large-scale racket crystallizing quartz carried out in Randhaniya in Balavaya. 420 kilos of crystal stones prepared for marketing were seized along with one suspect. A warship of the Indonesian Navy has reached Colombo port yesterday to procure supplies and service needs of the ship scheduled to leave the island today, and was welcomed by the Sri Lanka Navy according to the naval traditions. A ship belonging to Pakistani Navy has also arrived in the Colombo port today on an official tour. The Sri Lankan Navy received the ship with traditional honours. The ship, with a length of 123 metres, is comprised of a crew of 243 officials. The Pakistani official is expected to leave the island on the 4th of this month. Defence advisor of the Maldivian High Commission in Sri Lanka, Colonel Hazar Amir, has met Sri Lankan Navy Chief Vice Admiral Kanchana Balagoda at the Navy headquarters recently. Reaping of the paddy harvest of the Maha season in the Vavuniya district has commenced in the Thandikulam paddy field. 25,323 hectares of land have come under paddy cultivation in the district in this season. Implementation of a data network of citizen services in the Polonnaru district under the United Nations Development Programme has commenced yesterday at the District Secretariat Auditorium under the leadership of Deputy Minister T.B. Sarath. Letters of appointments were presented to 250 new recruits of the teaching service in the Eastern Province at a ceremony presided over by Provincial Governor Jayantalal Ratnasekara at the Vivekananda Auditorium in Trincomalee. And that's it on tonight's local stories. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
Dengue, 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 dengue. Dengue, 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 dengue. A total commitment by everybody, every day, will help control dengue. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back with international updates. And a plane crash carrying 6 passengers crashed into several buildings in neighborhood in northeast Philadelphia on Friday night, causing fires and injuring people on the ground. The medical transport plane was taking a child who had been receiving care in the US for a life-threatening condition back to Tijuana, Mexico. Her mother and 4 crew members were also on board. The crash happened near the Roosevelt Mall, a 3-story shopping center in a densely populated part of Philadelphia, the 5th biggest city in the US. Welcome back on In Your Sports Update. The Sri Lanka cricket team has tasted its most gruesome defeat in the Test cricket history today.
The gallant Australian team has recorded a mammoth innings and 242-run victory against them in their first test of the current series, concluded at the Galle International Cricket Stadium today. The local team was soaring in the face of defeat when they came into the field to bat with the overnight first innings score of 136 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. Kusal Mendis was the first victim in today's play when he was dismissed for 21 runs. Dinesh Chandimal was the only batsman capable of scoring a respectable innings of 72 runs. The local team was bundled up for 165 runs and faced the follow-on. Matthew Kuhnman took 5 wickets and Nathan Lyon 3 wickets for the victorious Australian team. The Sri Lanka's second innings score was also restricted to 247 runs. The Australian victory is being recorded as the 4th highest victory secured by the team in their Test cricket history. It is also the biggest defeat experienced by the Sri Lanka team against an Australian team in Test cricket. The previous biggest Test defeat was recorded in the year 2012, when Sri Lanka was beaten by an innings and 201 runs in the year 2017 as well. Sri Lanka cricketers had lost to India by an innings and 239 runs.
And with that sports update, we'll be wrapping up tonight's news. Do it us tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing off with Natalia. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.